Hey, what's going on? Thank you for tuning into the Coach's Couch. I'm your host, Coach C's, here to bring you some sports information fresh off the couch. Stay tuned. All right, cool. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be going over the topic of the NFL draft this week, with everything kind of going on with the coronavirus and everything being virtual. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how it all transpires. So we're going to go pick by pick, and we're going to discuss, what we think each team's going to do. We'll look at the mock draft that's already set up, see if it's a good pick in our opinion or whatever. But we got Coach Stu back with us again, and it's cool because we're gonna be doing going over some football stuff and a little change of pace from the Last Dance that we did in the last episode. So be cool. Let's get going. Looks like the first two picks is Cincinnati and Washington. Coach, do you think that the Bengals first keep their pick, and who do you think they go with?
I think they have to go quarterback. And now who they go at quarterback is kind of still in my head up for debate because I think that Joe Burrow is good, but I think Tua, from Alabama is also a really good quarterback. So if they took him over Joe or vice versa, I think that it would be a good pick regardless. But I definitely think they have to go quarterback. I think Andy Dalton's time in Cincinnati is pretty much done at this point.
Yeah,
So I think the Bengals for sure go quarterback.
no, yeah, I think Andy Dalton has been done. I think he's been done for at least the last two seasons. I'm not sure. Didn't he get hurt like 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, I don't think he played much of this past season too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or it might have been like 2 seasons ago too. There was like a quarterback, a backup dude from like wasn't it like Jeff Driscoll or something like that from like Florida or something like that was filling in for him. Um, which is I just hasn't really got the job done. I mean, they've had teams before too where like I remember like maybe 4 or 5 years ago when they had like a really good defense. They had AJ Green rocking. They had a solid team. Giovanni Bernard and some other cats that were kind of built. This team's overall really good team and had a good defense, but just could never really get the job done. So
Yeah, they could never like stay healthy. That was the number one thing I think I saw. Um, like AJ Green. I honestly thought he was going to be a Hall of Famer when he first got drafted, seeing like his high school highlights and stuff like that. And then, he's Mr. Glass, man. He can't stay healthy. I honestly don't think he's been fully healthy since like maybe his rookie season. I think he's like had a game where he said, I don't know. That's be interesting to find out. But dude, he's definitely like glass. He's skin and bones too. He's probably still bigger than me. I'm with you though on it. I think they go quarterback, and to be honest, if Tua never got hurt, I think Tua goes first overall. I think Tua
yeah,
also wins the Heisman just because he played for Bama, all this stuff. They're the favorites going into the you know into the playoffs and stuff. So it's I think it's cool that Joe made his mark at the most important part in his college career because it's going to count. I see him going first overall right here. Now, seeing them what they're going to do in free agency and getting the core pieces around him to have him be successful, that's going to be interesting. Because how many times have we seen quarterbacks that are the next truth, right? But then they don't get no help, and then all of a sudden they're quote unquote busts, right? But the organization never set you up, right? They didn't spend the money on the top back or spend the money on a decent line. So it's interesting to see if this kid's gonna shine. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. Second round pick is Washington. Um, they said, the mock drafts has Chase Young going here to the Redskins. I'm with that. I think overall Chase Young's probably like the most talented player, like athlete in this draft. So I think he's gonna shine right here. Your thought?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm a big Ohio State fan, so I mean, that dude's a monster.
Yeah.
Every game that he played in, like, you had defenses adjusting to where he was at on the field, and just kind of looking at the grade they gave him. I mean, it speaks for itself on the scouting report. So they gave
Right.
it to like a 97 overall. Pretty much all strength. The only weaknesses that I'm reading, are just relies on power to be offensive lineman, and then needs to, be more creative in his pass rush moves, and just needs to get better at, against the run, which are a guy like that should have like no issue with. He's just like a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, as far as like what he can be or what he's going to be in the NFL, I think he's going to be a baller, dude. Not too many guys. The guy's like 6'7", 6'8", staying there. I read something on like Twitter or something like that, or Instagram, that he was still growing too, like, which is
Yeah.
crazy. He's got to be pushing like 260, 270. So yeah, that dude,
Yeah. He's up there.
he's a beast.
I'm with you on that one. I like how he plays. I think watching him in the playoffs and stuff, I mean, that's probably like the best thing that they said about him, where he has room to grow, is being more creative when he rushes. Because there's been times where he didn't keep contained. He could have had the. I mean, you could just see he's easily the best athlete when he was on the field. But I think if he, I mean, you're gonna get that type of coaching in the NFL anyway. So um, he's going to be a big monster, and I think he's going to end up being. I don't think he's going to be a bust. I think he's going. I think you're going to see him be like the Donalds or the Von Millers or something like that. The guys that came out, made an instant impact, and then yeah, you'll see it. Pick number 3 is to Detroit. They have another Ohio State guy going there, the cornerback Jeff Okuda. I don't know, man. I didn't really see like a whole lot from him. I mean, he's a good corner. He's a good DB. But to go, I mean, I mean, he's arguably one of the best DBs in the draft. Obviously, um, he's big. He's physical. He makes contact. A lot of times they had him in ISO positions where he would just take the number one receiver and go with that guy. But I don't know. It's just a big leap. So it's always. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to find the number one corner like right off the bat, right? Sometimes you get those guys mid rounds that end up being diamonds in the rough and stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of times you see corners get picked in the early draft or in the early first round, and sometimes they don't pan out, and it's apparent like real quick. They get exposed very very quickly. So I would think that they would try to trade down and maybe pick up some other draft picks, but I mean, I don't know. I think they might be asking a lot to trade down or whatever. But I know you've been an Ohio State fan. You would like to see your dude get picked.
I mean, yeah, because it's been like, people talk about, like Texas and LSU and, Florida State as some of these DBU universities, but Ohio State's been, you know pulling out or pumping out DBs left and right for like the last 4 to 5 years. But now, right off the bat, when I see him and I look at him like physically, he reminds me of Gary and Conley,
Yeah.
from Ohio State, who got taken from the Raiders a few years back. He looks very very like he's mechanically sound, and he's more of a coverage corner. It looks like I'm reading his weaknesses too right now, and off of his size alone, he's not that big. 6'1", 205, so he's not going to be like a big burly dude at the line. They said that he could work on some of his run support and be more physical at the point of attack, getting off receiver blocks and stuff. But at the end of the day, Detroit's going to need somebody with his caliber of play, because they just lost Darius Slay to
Oh yeah, that's right.
or did they lose him? I'm not sure. Did he go already? Or
I think he got traded to. I want to say
oh yeah, he's on the Eagles. Eagles. That's
yeah,
right.
the Eagles. Yeah, so he's gone. Yeah, they
Yeah.
need another guy. That's a lot though. Asking a dude to come in here and I mean carry the DB court in a sense. All right, pick number 4. They got it's the Giants. I like their pick right here with the Alabama O line, Wills Jr. Real, I think they're really going to try to invest in picking up a real good line for Barkley and who's their quarterback now? Who was it?
It's Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. So they invested in him last year, right? I think that's when he got drafted. So they're definitely rebuilding, and I like their pick right here. Trying to solidify their old line. You win and lose games in the trenches.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever go wrong with the O line, especially if you're a rebuilding team. I think that's always going to be a solid pick, no matter how you slice it up. So I definitely would support the organization if they decided to take him from Alabama. So
Yeah. All right, pick number 5, Miami. I've been seeing this on the headlines for a minute now, and they have Tua going right here. Um, they have him the second ranked quarterback. If not, I mean, obviously the numbers lie a little bit. He didn't finish out the year, and there's been a lot of times where he got pulled, so his numbers weren't as high as they could have been. But he's definitely a clear number 2 quarterback in the draft. I see him definitely being an asset right here to Miami and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting because he's coming off that hip injury, right? So if he's not 100%, um, I don't think he makes an instant impact. I think he sits back a little bit and gets healthy, works with the top doctors, and still PTs through it. But I think that they are trying to get him to come in and start.
yeah, I mean, I kind of, to piggyback off what you're saying, I to me personally, I think he's the best quarterback in the draft. I like Joe Burrow, and the run he had at the end of his college career was cool. Winning a national championship is not easy to do, but as far as like pure mechanics and just quarterback play as it is, I think that Tua is a better quarterback. I think he's a lot more fundamentally sound and just throws a better football, in my opinion. I mean, the guy was getting, like again, I saw on Twitter or Facebook, it was one of those where they were comparing him to like Drew Brees. And I was like, at first, I was like, man, it's kind of like a stretch. But like when you really watch dude play and just how he throws the ball and like his mechanics and everything, he's pretty on point, dude. And he throws with pretty good accuracy. His delivery is really good. Um, and I just think that he just has all the tools. I mean, again, I'm looking at everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and there's not a lot. I mean, the only thing you can really kind of nitpick with him is that he's not the tallest dude and his injury history. But outside of that, I mean, I feel like he has everything that you would want really in a quarterback, and he comes from a winning organization too. So it's like, I feel like that's like a perfect fit for Miami.
All right, we're gonna pull in Schmitty, Coach Chris. He's coming in. Let's see where he's at. He's connecting, getting him up and going.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What up?
All right. We're just going through the draft picks right now. We are on pick 6. We just got done talking about Tua. Coach Sue was talking about how he thinks Tua is overall probably the best quarterback in the draft. He has all the tangibles there, and without him getting hurt, he easily goes number 1. I think. Without him getting hurt too, I think that Alabama goes deeper if not wins a championship. So,
was it Lane Kiffin said that if Tua doesn't get hurt versus then they beat Auburn, so they're probably in the playoff situation.
Yeah.
So I said they made that game versus LSU a lot more tougher than most opponents have. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree, dude. All right, we're going on pick number 6. Pick number 6 belongs to the Chargers. And in the mock draft, this has the Georgia O lineman Andrew Thomas going right here. Me personally, like when you're rebuilding, you're getting rid of you got rid of Rivers and stuff, and you're rebuilding. Chargers have been pretty productive on offense for many years. So I think that they're going to be obviously drafting O line, especially when they're trying to rebuild. Plus, I'm pretty sure he's young. I think he's it says right, he's a junior, so they'll have him hopefully for a while. And I mean, I'm pretty sure he played tackle at Georgia. So I think he's the type of guy that, they pull in and he can cornerstone the whole rebuild process. And, they can just build off of that.
Yeah, I think with a team like the Chargers too, especially like you said, losing Phillip Rivers, I don't even know. I mean, I think Tyrod Taylor's they're going to be their quarterback going forward for the time being. So they're just going to have to rely on their, their really good defense, which is actually really, really good. And they made a few pickups too in that run game. So yeah, especially if you're not going to have a quarterback, you can have a solid running game. I think taking an offensive lineman definitely going to help with that. So
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I mean, my biggest thing is like they have to like this pick will decide if they're going to go Herbert or someone like that realm, or if Tua does fall, maybe that realm. But it's just they have to decide if they're going to stick with Tyrod Taylor and rock with him. That the line makes sense. Their line sucks. Their line's been terrible last couple of seasons, and so it's like you should there go with a guy like Thomas, who a lot of guys rate him, probably out of this class, all pro going into the future. I guess he's one of like the 3 linemen that were rated all pro or possibly could go all pro in this draft this year. I think Thomas would be a solid pick for them, but it just depends if they actually believe in Tyrod Taylor or not. Which I think Tyrod Taylor is a proven quarterback, and they actually still have weapons on offense. Was it Keenan Allen? Or was it Eckler? They tagged was it Henry? They still have offense they can put up. Was it Mike Williams is still there?
Mike Williams, yeah. Yeah, they got weapons on the outside. Just they don't have the quarterback. I mean, they just like you said, it's me like offensively, they got some pieces and stuff, and their defense is like really good. It's just about who the quarterback's gonna be. The only reason why I feel like they don't take a quarterback in the draft is because you still got a couple of free agents out there too. So if they decide they don't want to go with Tyrod Taylor, they can always pick somebody up in free agency. I feel like that's a team right now that wants to win right now. They're not trying to throw in somebody to fire right now. So.
Right.
I mean, the only thing I would sit there and say maybe like if they were trying to win would be because was it Lynn, because they were projected super high last year to go wild card or at least compete in the division, and with Phillip Rivers not cursing at anybody, they didn't do a very good job of that at all. So they're going to be I think they're at the point where I don't think they're at a full rebuild. So it's like if like I said, Tyrod Taylor, to me, if you get him off as alignment to protect his ass, like he's going to be a solid dude at least to get you a playoffs. He's done it before with a lesser team, the Bills. So I think Tyrod Taylor, they should stick with him. In my personal opinion, if they go take a quarterback, not in that first round, take it later in the draft. Or you still got Cam, you got Jameis. There's still some quarterbacks out there. So.
All right. So pick number 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're on 7. So right here they got Clemson linebacker Isaiah Simmons going here. I mean, he's good, man. He's a good linebacker. I like him. I think he's very versatile. I think he can cover space. I think he can fill the gaps. I think they definitely need to pick somebody that's big, especially after Luke retired. So I think they're trying to fill that void.
Yeah, I mean he's big, strong, athletic. I don't see too many weaknesses either for him. I know people were trying to say that he can play like safety and linebacker. I don't know about safety. I don't know how laterally quick he is to be able to play safety. He looks more fit to play like the linebacker position.
Yeah,
and then I think he's just gonna be more like a pass rusher. But I feel like I'm trying to think of like some comparisons. He kind of reminds me of Vic Beasley a little bit from Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of has like similar build. Really, really athletic. So I think that would be a solid pick for Carolina if they decide to go that direction.
Was it obviously that immediate like sees what you said, he replaces Luke Kuechly right away. If you watch the national championship game, he was covering slot receivers, and like he ran like a 4.4, like I'm pretty sure like a 4.4, 4.3 40, and his time was stupid ridiculous. And a lot of people were comparing him to what Derwin James did coming out of college. Like they're like Derwin James is a linebacker, or he's a strong safety, he's a box type of deal because he could cover. I think that linebacker spot's perfect for him on the state side of your run with being a linebacker. I think he's a solid Mike. I mean, not like a Mike. It might be like he's able to cover. I think he's a strong side, he's a sandbacker. So to me, it's an immediate replacement for a rebuilding team that, they're going to have to go through their ups and downs with this new coach and Teddy Bridgewater, which is a very capable quarterback, but I don't see him with the acquisitions that the Bucks got and competing with the Saints and even on top of Atlanta getting some acquisitions. To me, they're in a rebuild, so just keeps hitting homers on drafts like this. Like Isaiah Simmons is a solid pick for them.
All right, number 8 belongs to Arizona. A lot of people have them like trading their pick right here, and trade down and get some more picks and stuff like that. I think they do. I think they trade away. They had a pretty good draft last year, and so I think that they're going to try to just get some more pieces later on in the draft and get some, those diamonds in the rough that you find, some just good solid players. So they said that they probably make that trade to Atlanta right here. C.J. Henderson from Florida. They have him going right here. I think Atlanta needs a lot of help. I think it's a good pick, picking up the number 2 DB. Hopefully, that protects them in their division, especially. You got someone that can be the number 1 DB. They can be the number 1 corner and stuff. So, we'll see what happens. I haven't seen a whole lot of him. But from his breakdown and stuff, it seems like he can make an impact and whatever. Earlier, I was saying how DBs are just hard. You don't know what you get, and you find out real quick. If they're going to be solid or not. You find out. If they're getting burnt or they're transitioning into the faster league or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think you find out real quick where he's going to be.
Yeah, and I think it just depends too. Like a lot of teams want what they want from a cornerback. I'm just thinking of kind of cornerbacks that have gone in the past, like the ones that are having like success right now. Like the ones that come to mind are like Tre'Davious White from LSU and like Marshawn Lattimore. Like those dudes are like physical and like get up in your face, and they kind of like carve their game out that way. And I feel like a lot of the cornerbacks, to your point, that come into the league, they don't do that. They try to like play within the system, and it's like sometimes you gotta change what you were doing in college and do some things that might make you uncomfortable and stuff. And I think right now Atlanta, yeah, I probably couldn't even name you their secondary right now. I know they just traded Desmond Trufant too, so it's like they're probably pretty depleted on the back end. So I think that would be a solid pick for them because their offense is going to be decent. Matt Ryan, they got some going on offense. I won't touch on that too much, but yeah, their defense definitely needs some support for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Was it if so hypothetically, right? It's was it C.J. Henderson? Dude, he's from what I heard, like Peter King was saying that they have him ranked up. Some boards have him ranked up higher than Okudah from Ohio State. So it's pretty much. I heard it's like it's a toss up between 1 or 2. I think as of late, which is kind of crazy to me because we're getting down to it. It's people are saying that some have him higher than Okudah. Okudah looks great to me, but it's it's a 1-2 between him and Henderson, and Henderson's a pretty solid big dude. The only other thing is like I thought for a while Florida was like a kind of like a DBU coming out. They had a couple like first round was it cornerbacks? Was it Hargraves, Hayden? I'm pretty sure I'm missing somebody else too. But it was like they had a couple of good DBs coming out, and I always lean towards SEC corners because the majority of the time they go up against top tier talent in the SEC. So it's like to me, it's like all right, they'll have the speed, the physicality. He's a big body. Hopefully he just puts it all together. I said if Atlanta trades up to go get this pick, it makes a solid sense for me. He's a top 10 pick.
All right, pick number. What is this? We're on number 9. Pick number 9. It belongs to Jacksonville. I don't know who they go here. In my opinion, they have a lot of holes. I think. It was not 2 seasons ago when they had like one of the best defenses in the league, right? For a while too, right? And so all those guys, the main guys are gone, right? So I think they go defense here. This mock has the D lineman from Auburn going, Derek Brown. But I also could see them going some offensive line too. So I mean, at this point in this draft, there's going to be some good offensive linemen there. Derek Brown's pretty good. D lineman, Auburn. I mean, we've seen him play a bunch, and I think he's a good fit. I think he's an impact guy, big, physical guy. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely going to be in the rebuild mode. I know they just picked up Nick Foles, but yeah, I don't anticipate them having too much success this season. So I don't really, at this point, yeah, I thought that would be a solid pick. You know, they have him rated as the best defensive lineman, right? So I think that'd be a pretty good pick to take him at 9.
Was it? They did say that this might be the string of people who try to trade up. There's a possibility of maybe the Eagles jumping up, the Broncos jumping up, 8 teams that are behind. You know, the 49ers trying to hop up at the same, maybe possibly the Raiders or Jets if they're willing to make that move. If a string of receivers start to go, I just can't believe how much, like, it was only a couple years ago that Jags were doing so well. All of a sudden, they're in a complete fire sale, and might as well. Everybody starts building from the interior line out, so makes sense to go with this cat from Auburn. I heard he's pretty solid kid. See some of the film and whatnot, so it makes sense to me.
All right, pick number 10. It belongs to the Browns, but they said that the Browns are probably going to trade right here. I don't know why they would trade. I mean, they definitely need picks and stuff to hopefully rebuild. I think they haven't really been very successful in the first round, so I think they feel like they just got to go a little lower and hopefully that they can stock up some picks. But they said that they trade right here to the Broncos. Broncos move up and they get Jerry Jeudy. Being a Raider fan, like I was talking with Stu earlier, I wouldn't want to see that. I'd rather him be in silver and black in Las Vegas. But it is what it is, man. He's a great pick. I think he's the best receiver right now in there, all around. He's not super huge, 6 foot, about 200 pounds. But I mean, you've seen him play, all year round, dude. The dude's an offensive weapon.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit everything on the head. Like, he's my favorite guy too. Obviously, being a Raider fan, I want to take him. I just think he's a complete receiver. He runs really, really good routes. And Alabama has, what they got now. They produced Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, and now a couple other guys that are coming out. Like, and all those, the common thing with all those dudes is that they run really good, routes. And I think that that's something that the Raiders need, especially with Derek Carr. They're going to need somebody that's going to be reliable, that can, create separation and get open and just make plays, dude. And I think that he's going to be the guy for that. So if Denver takes him, I think that would be a really, really good pickup for them, because I know they just lost, Emmanuel Sanders. I know they still got, what's his name, Cortland Sutton. He's really, really good. So that would actually be like a really good 1-2 punch if they were able to swing Jerry Jeudy. But as a Raider fan, I'm hoping that he definitely drops. So.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well call this the Raiders coaching couch. Like, shit.
Yeah, right.
As a Raider fan, I wouldn't want to see, and an Alabama fan, I wouldn't want to see him go there. The only thing that does bother me is, like, little things is like, the people are saying his attitude can be compared to Amari. I'm like, he's not a diva, but he's a solid player. Hopefully, he has no injuries. I heard like there was something he actually had knee surgery in January, and all his doctors sent out notes to NFL GM saying, he's good to go type of deal, which I didn't even hear about until today. But if the Broncos are going up to go get him, I think that's their move. That, like, we're back to this playoff hunt. They're done rebuilding. They're Vic Fangio has this defense set up. They're ready to rock. So to me, it's kind of dangerous as Raider fans if the Broncos are ready to go back into it, because then you talk about Chargers, the Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs are the top of the mountain you got to overcome, but it makes this division back to being extremely tough again. But Jeudy makes that division even harder. So they props to him going top 10, but that sucks for us.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of crazy to see what it would take to make that trade. They have Denver giving up 3 picks to go get him. So interesting, but I mean, if they, like you said, if they're really about that life and they really want to make that impact immediately with one of these top playmakers, I mean, it shows what they're really trying to do, you know, and they're trying to compete. They're not trying to rebuild. They want to compete next season, as do all the teams. But some teams have some realities that they got to face, right? But if they do that, I mean, they're definitely trying to do it. Right on, y'all. Appreciate everyone tuning in and everything like that. We got the NFL draft. I think it starts tomorrow. What time does it start? 7?
No, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so tune into that because I'm gonna be watching that. Upgraded my Xfinity, got my DVR set up. We're all good.
Yeah.
Be watching this draft, and then we'll be doing some bets and everything like that per round. $1 goes to the winner. I'm just joking. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, appreciate you coaches coming on and breaking it down. It's been fun. It's been cool. And then yeah, we'll be back here later this week with another episode. And then this weekend we'll be covering the next 2 episodes of The Last Dance and giving our additional thoughts. No spoilers or anything like that. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. See you all later.